Welcome. Welcome to everyone who is joining live, and a particular welcome to all those who listen on replay, because I know many of you out there are listening on replay. Kind of hoping that the doors are a little jiggly because I have the window open. It's a little warm, so hopefully there's not that background noise. Today I want to journey in time a little bit with you. I know that you're busy, you're tired, and I'm going to keep this as quick as possible because I really want to help women leaders in particular, who are experiencing burnout, who are either on that edge or already diving, head first and can't seem to get out. And what we're going to do is we're really going to look at 3 versions of your story. And I want to talk about a little bit about your past, your leadership, your success, your career, where things might be today, and then 2 potential options for your future. I want you to kind of see where you're headed and where you could be headed. Let's go first into the past. From what I know from the women I talk to, from my clients, is that you were driven, you were focused, you were reliable, you were a problem solver. That's what got you the success that you have today. You loved your work. It challenged you. It excited you. And maybe you still love your work even today. Maybe what you do you really love. You were proud of being the one who was maybe the mentor, the one who caught all the details, the leader who never let a ball drop, always kept every plate spinning. And you didn't just survive through chaos. You didn't just power through chaos. You actually took it and teased it apart and got clarity for people. Most people turn to you for that chaos reduction skill that you had, that ability to remain calm, remain focused, and really get to the heart of what needed to be solved in the moment. And back then, that pressure felt good. It was kind of an adrenaline rush for you. You were alive. You were you in the work. Let's now bring ourselves up to the present. And for those listening, this may have crept in slowly, or maybe it hit you hard. You are exhausted. And if you're exhausted, even if, and that's a big if, you get a full night's sleep, because that's less and less common for you. Brain fog is your new normal. Everything feels harder. You have weird recurring health issues. Maybe you have skin issues like acne that you never even had as a teenager, digestion issues, food allergies that seem to have come out of nowhere. I can really relate to this. For quite some time, I had gluten allergies, and I was dairy intolerant, and I've been able to actually fix that. Maybe you've got blood pressure issues. These all seemingly annoying issues are really signs. They're messages from your body, potentially even warning signs. You might be gaining weight, even though you really haven't changed what you eat or what you do. Your fuse is really getting shorter and shorter, so much so that you surprise yourself in the kinds of things that you snapping at people you care about. And for some of you, you might feel emotionally flat, numb. And really the only thing you feel is frustration or exhaustion. And you seem to blow up or really react to this, what seems like really small things, and people are kind of surprised at how you're reacting to things. And deep down, you might be worried that this is your new normal, that you're just going to have to power through to retirement. I surely hope that that's not what you're thinking. Some women I've talked to have quit. multiple times over the course of the last 10 to 15 years. They've quit multiple times for 6 months to a year in order to recover from their burnout. And I think one of the worst things is that you just really can't see how this is going to change. It's just so overwhelming, and you don't necessarily want to quit. You don't necessarily want to take a 6-month sabbatical, and maybe you can't in the role that you're in. Your mind, your body, and your heart are like throwing up flares. And I want to ask you, are you listening? Are you paying attention? Can you see those flares? We're going to lay out 2 options that could be your potential future. And these 2 options are very real and very possible. The first one is that you're living in a permanent state of chronic stress. And the way I like to describe it is that if this is a major stress event, let's say you get cut off in traffic and your heart is racing, and you're freaking out because you literally barely missed an accident. Or maybe you're involved in a workplace violence situation, or maybe there's some sort of real threat that brings you up to this high level of stress. And our body is trained to come up to that stress and fight, flight, or freeze. Then our body needs to come back down to calm, grounded, parasympathetic. The parasympathetic nervous system kicks in. However, most of us, most women I talk to, the women in burnout, are operating at about here. There's this just constant hum, and even if it's here, this constant hum of stress. One of my coaches used to call it being marinated in cortisol. And so this chronic stress actually weakens your immune system, because when we're in fight, flight, or freeze, it actually shuts our immune system down. Because if we're literally, that part of our brain thinks we're going to die. It is focused on your survival. And your survival does not need your immune system if there's a lion outside the door. And that's the way our body is reacting. So what happens if nothing changes, if we don't really focus on ending burnout from the inside out, our health is going to decline. And those little issues are going to start to turn more serious. It could be cancer. It could be heart disease. It could be an autoimmune issue. Relationships start to shift into sometimes that roommate status, where that connection just isn't there, that deep, intimate connection with your partner, with those you really love and care about. And sometimes they end completely. Life becomes a numb routine, an autopilot. You're just kind of waking up, working, numbing out, repeat. Wake up, work, numb out, repeat. And oftentimes what happens is your productivity isn't what it used to be. And oftentimes it's just more hours and more hours to try and get back to what you were, that past self of yours. And you have friends that maybe have drifted away. You're not doing as much socially. You're not doing as much to take care of yourself. And maybe you're telling yourself that you'll get back to feeling good again. But the truth is, without change, that window of opportunity to get back to health, to get back to what you used to really love to do and the energy you used to love to have so that you could be and do everything for yourself and for others, that opportunity window starts to close. Burnout doesn't just cost you your energy. It can cost you your health, your relationships, and potentially your life. That happened to some people I know and love. And so I do not want that to happen to you. But you have another option. Ending burnout from the inside out. And why do I say that? Why isn't it just ending burnout, period? Because if we don't end burnout from here, from really inside, and address what actually created the burnout in the first place, then it's just going to keep coming back. There are ways that I work with my clients to shift mentally, emotionally, and physically so that the burnout doesn't keep coming back. I have what I refer to as the energetic blueprint. That's the process I take people through. And it's the energetic blueprint process, but each one of us has an energetic blueprint. It is our core self, our core true being. It is the needs, our preferences, our desires, our gifts, our talents. And what happens is that core part of ourselves over time gets covered up by these habits, ways of being, perfectionism, people pleaser. What are some of the other ones? The nice girl, or the defensive reactor, where you're just defensive all the time and reacting all the time. But if we can peel away those habits, peel away some of what's happening here, the thoughts, the beliefs, the habitual ways of thinking that got us into burnout, if we can shift those back to what brought you your success in the first place, your energy will return. You will have consistent, sustainable energy. You have to connect back to that true part of yourself, the woman who loved life, who loved to lead, who loved what she did and had a balance in her life, who had a rhythm of working hard, playing hard, enjoying life in all aspects, work and personal. And in that space of coming back to your true self, you can deepen the relationships that you want to deepen. You can reconnect with those you really care about and be truly present for them instead of being on the phone or doing email or catching them a few minutes here and a few minutes there. You can have fun again, and not something that's forced, not something that's just rote, but something that truly, coming back to what truly brings you joy. Because when we stop that emotional numb out, then it allows us to feel all of the expansive emotions: freedom, well-being, joy, love, excitement. I want you to really think about, when was the last time you were just really excited or really felt just so content instead of feeling numb, just this baseline of frustration. Brene Brown says, when we numb out the constrictive emotions, the ones that you might call negative emotions, when we numb away the ones we don't want to feel, it doesn't allow us, then we're numbing out all of the emotions. Brene Brown says we cannot selectively numb our emotions. So you can heal mentally, physically, and emotionally. You can reconnect to that inner part of yourself. You can have a wellspring of energy where it's consistent and sustainable. You can create success on your terms. You'll have more time, more ease, more creativity. You can deepen those relationships, have fun again, and you feel that vitality. You feel grounded. You feel the freedom to be you. You're not running from stress. You're fueled by the energy that you have. You're fueled by this ebb and flow of, maybe stress does come up here, but you know how to bring it back down. It comes up here and you know how to bring it back down. You know what your core self, your true self needs to come back to base instead of just this hum of constant stress. You don't have to choose between your success and your health, your success and your well-being, your success and a personal life. You don't have to choose. You can have it all. You just can't have them the way burnout taught you to have them, where it's this much personal life and this much work. It's an ebb and flow, and you have to, I want to help you come back to that ebb and flow. Which future are you creating currently? Give that a little bit of thought. It is not too late to make a shift. If you're willing to stop powering through, if you're willing to really work with your mind and your body and your spirit instead of against them, instead of just powering over them. If you're ready, please DM me, reach out, and let's set up a time to chat, because I'd love to help get you to that new place of grounded reality. I hope you have a great rest of your week.